Meet your speakers, Wendy Ologe, a seasoned parent coach, an author, and the founder, Intentional Parent Academy, the founder, Intentional Parent Group. She is an international speaker, the African representative at the 2019 Facebook Global Parenting Panel USA. She is an executive director at the Smart Office. She has over 10 years working experience at the USAID leading project and the banking sector. Wendy is married and likes to refer to her husband as Governor, also known as God. She is a mother of 2 twin boys and a foster daughter. Chinyere Obinna, educator, parent coach focused on sex education for the whole family, author, international speaker, wife and mother of 2. Tega Omogo, an author, a transformational speaker, life coach and substance abuse counselor, an interventionist, a mental health practitioner and teen mentor, a certified therapist with US-based Timfa Group, a SUPCA certified mental health first aider, an emotional intelligence and anger management coach, a graduate of the Guidance and Counseling Department of the Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, graduate of the Transformers Leadership Academy, a project coordinator, Back to Light Foundation. She is an international speaker and a business owner. Tega is married and she is based in Abuja. And your host, Marybeth Chima, educator, author, founder of the PTM Academy, convener of the Baby Steps to Purpose Conference 2021.
All right, everyone, welcome to our evening session. Good evening. Please, if you are with us in the house, let us know you are here. Remember to give StreamYard permission or Facebook permission to show your comments on StreamYard, or StreamYard permission to show your comments so that we can see who is talking with us. All right, so the first 2 sessions have been amazing, and I hope you have your seat and you are sitting pretty well for the next session, because this one is going to blow your mind. All right, then, without wasting time, okay, our next speaker doesn't waste time. She doesn't like time being wasted. So I'm just going to bring her on screen right away. We all know who our next speaker is. It's the amiable Wendy Ologe. Sorry, I think we'll need to apologize to Wendy, but let me bring her on screen first. Good evening, boss. I call her boss because on this, I call her boss because she's my boss in many ways. I mean, I said earlier on, I think I was Tega's session. I don't know whose session. I said, I don't stop learning about parenting. So yes, I show up for this session every Tuesday. Like, I balance with my chair and I wait because, hey, on this journey, we learn forever. Apart from that, she's my mentor, someone I look up to. Good evening, ma'am. We're excited to have you. I cannot tell you how honored we are to have you here. Welcome. Sorry, there were some mistakes in that. Sorry, guys. There were some mistakes in that. We're trying to be genge, and then we ended up putting out some information that did not exactly carry. We apologize, ma'am. We apologize. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Marybeth. It's such an honor. I am honored to be here. I do not take it for granted for an opportunity to speak. For every time that I have an opportunity to speak to parents, for me, it's like a superpower. Right? So thank you so much for this conference. I don't think we can ever have it enough. Even if you're going to attend the parenting conference 20 times in a year, trust me, it can't be enough. In my community, in the academy, the Intentional Parents Academy, we run programs, and every day when we come up, we run what we call the Inner Circle program, an annual program. And every day when we come up with something, everybody says, so when are we going to stop learning? We're never going to stop learning. I'm also still learning on my journey. Thank you so much, Marybeth. It's such an amazing time. Thank you, and thank you. So this is the baby steps to purpose. And when it comes to anything purpose, when you come to me, I gladly tell you that I can't do the job and I send you to Marybeth. So if you look at me like that wonder coach, I can't do everything, I send you to Marybeth actually when it comes to purpose, because she understands it, she's able to give it, and she's someone that I have worked with that knows her onions in this space. Good evening again, and permit me, there are two things that you're going to hear me talk about: the Bible and also
All right, Coach. I'm going to leave you to take the stage. Okay, I'm going to leave you to take the stage. I'll just go off your screen.
That's fine. That's good. That's okay. That's okay.
All right, ma'am.
All right. So as you're looking at me today, as you're watching this session, two things that you need to note that is we're going to have conversations on is that you're going to hear me talk about the Bible. And at some point also, you're also going to hear me talk about a bit about my family to help you understand a lot of the things that I am saying. Welcome again to this session. And we're talking about baby steps to purpose. We're talking about purpose, and today I am talking about parenting the heart of your child and staying connected. If you must raise a child who lives in purpose, then you must stay connected. Okay? So we're going to see a few of the things that I want to share with you. We're going to start with Proverbs 4 and verse 23. All right? If you're not a Christian, just follow me. Look at the Bible as a book. Don't look at it as a religious instrument, okay? Just look at it as a book, and you will be able to actually follow me through this session. All right? So when you read Proverbs, I'm going to read it. Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 23. Okay? Proverbs 4:23, it says, "Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life." Okay? Simply put, the heart is where the issues of life reside. If you must parent the heart of the child, you must understand this statement. Everything actually comes from that place, and you need to get it. So you can change a child, but if you haven't changed their heart, you have succeeded in doing nothing. I like to have conversations when I'm speaking. So I'm going to hope that as I'm talking, you're going to put some comments in the comment section, because I understand that conversational discussions can actually make this a lot more better. So please, you can put what I've just said in the comment section. That will help us have this conversation. Okay, so you can change a child. Let me quote again. You can change a child, but if you haven't changed their heart, you have succeeded in doing nothing. So how do we win the heart of a child and not their behavior? What does that even mean? Now, few points. God created the heart of the child to be the central processing unit. I say that again. God created the heart of everybody to be the central processing unit. Okay, am I here alone? I can't see any comment. Please, if you can hear me, please let me see your comment in the comment section. Okay, that would help us roll. All right, let me be sure that I'm not speaking to myself. Of course, I can't see who is watching. Can't see who is watching. If you can hear me, please let me see your comments in the comment section. All right, awesome. I can see the comments. The stats coming. Good. So I said that God created the heart of the child to be the central processing unit of every human being. Okay? This is where strong desires become expectations. I can see my people. Hello to you guys. And then turn to demands. This is where emotions reside and must be managed and used in order to follow their God-given purpose. If you do not manage the heart of your child, then what you're doing is null and void. Thank you so much, Inyorobina. I followed through your session. I wasn't there live, but I followed through. It was Awesome. Thank you for delivering as always. All right. If you didn't watch that session, go and catch a replay. Trust me, I learned a lot myself. So you must understand that it's only a heart-based approach that will change a child. If you do not have a heart-based approach, then a child is never going to change. So the approach teaches and changes the way you correct. It changes the way you give instructions. It changes the way you teach your child on how to take responsibility. So you need to understand what exactly it is, what it means to parent the heart of your child. Most often than not, we are more interested in one, striving for our children to become better on the outside without affecting the heart. Oh yes, you hear us, trying to make our children look good. You remember that was part of what Jesus Christ actually said in the scriptures, where he was talking about the value that the things that the Pharisees were saying and were doing. And he said to them, that was hypocrisy. And he said to them that it was about their heart much, much more than it was about what, the things that they were doing outwardly. So if you can't reach the heart of your child, then you are parenting amiss. That's what I want to call it today. We are unfortunately striving to keep our children from wrongdoing, but we are not connecting. All we're interested in is, why are you doing this? Why is this happening? Oh, all we're interested in is, do the right thing. Don't do this, don't do that. But we are not connecting. So as we're not connecting, there's a huge disconnect going on. And these are some of the things that we are interested in. Another thing that we're interested in is striving on compliance instead of working on relationship. Striving on compliance instead of striving on relationship. Relationship is the core of parenting. Without relationship, you're doing nothing. A child that you can correct their behavior or help connect and all of that is a child that you actually have a relationship with. Relationship, any kind of discipline that you do, whatever it is that you do without a relationship, is actually will turn to rebellion eventually. So your children will rebel and they will turn against you. We often make the mistake of being too harsh. And in our mind, we actually say, oh, we're being firm. They're not the same thing. Being firm, being harsh, not the same. But we usually take all of that together. Avoiding anger is one of the ways that you can parent the heart of a child. You see all these anger spanks that we usually would pull in. Something happens, you are angry, you put, things out there and all of that. The truth is, if you can avoid anger, if you can manage your anger, you would actually be on almost a 50% on your parenting journey. So one of the fastest way of losing your child's heart is by anger. Unfortunately, in our quest to become good parents, we end up alienating our children. Oh yes, we end up alienating our children, but there is hope. That's why we are here in this conference. There is hope. Parenting the heart of the child can be a whole lot. And like I said, there is a whole lot of hope. Okay, so let's keep going. Why do I even need to parent the heart of a child? That's the question that you probably are asking. What do you mean? Why do I need to parent the heart of a child instead of the behavior? I'm going to say this in this session. Might be a bit controversial and might also be something that you will want to fight with. But relax, you will get what I mean. I'm not interested in my children obeying me. I'm interested in them doing what is right. Do you know why? Because, unfortunately, I'm not right all the time. I'm interested in my children honoring me than just obeying. Because, again, I'm not infallible. So if I were to be perfect, I would try for my children to obey me all the time. But since I'm not perfect, I am striving for my children to do what is right all the time, whether I am right or wrong. Something that a lot of people, would battle with, but it's something that you need to think deeply about. Because you're not infallible, only God is. So if I were to be God, I might just say, I want my children to, at every point in time, listen to me. If you can get to this point and understand that you do not own your children, then it becomes easier for you to actually trade this point. Now, I remember in my community, we run a community called the Intentional Parent. And I remember in that community, one of those days we had shared that you do not have the capacity, you do not own your children. It caused an uproar. People were screaming, how do you say I don't own my children? They are my children, I own them. No, you don't. You're a caretaker. You've been given your children to actually walk through life. That's what you've done. That's what your job is. God owns them, and you must recognize that. And if you must parent the heart of the child, then you must understand what exactly is the heart. What does the heart do to the child? With practice, if you help your child, one of the reasons why you must parent the heart of the child is that it will help your child integrate key patterns in your child's life. With practice, your child will develop character needed to follow instructions. Your child will receive corrections, and your child will accept no for an answer. One of the reasons why you're struggling is because you're parenting the behavior, not the heart. If you parent the heart, you will rarely struggle. How do I begin to parent the heart of my child? That's the question you are asking now. Number one, you need to connect with your child. I'm known to talk about connection parenting, round clock and all of that. I am for connection parenting. Because without connection, whatever it is that we're doing doesn't really work. Okay? So connecting with your child is the main thing about parenting, right? So I'm talking, it's as if I can't see people. I like to see your comments as I'm talking. That is going to help me be able to connect with you more. So I speak better when I'm able to connect with you. So that also helps me. All right. So you need to connect with your child. Like I said, you need to connect with your child. That is very key. Now, the question you're asking is, how do I connect with my child? What are the things that I need to do, right? You need to acquire knowledge for these skills. If your child if you're parenting your child and you're trying to parent your child for, you're trying to parent the heart of the child, and you do not even know exactly what it is that you need to be doing, you are going to continually struggle. You need to acquire knowledge for parenting. You need to acquire knowledge for parenting. Whenever I talk about knowledge for parenting, people say things like this to me. What are you talking about? Knowledge for parenting again. Why? Our parents already taught us exactly what to do. Now, I'm going to shock you. Unfortunately, what your parents operated on was the level where they were. If you must parent differently, your whole idea, your whole eyes will be on habits that last and the skills that transform. If you cannot teach your children habits that last and skills that transform, then trust me, you're not going to have results that you desire. And the first thing to actually be able to get to habits that last, skills that transform, is to begin to connect to the heart of your child and not their behavior. Unfortunately, what we do all the time is that we are constantly hitting on the behavior of the child and not even the soul, the heart of the child. You need to, if your child must actually thrive, then you need to develop your own parenting skills to help your child. I've said this before over and again. Ignorant children, ignorant parents, the children of ignorant parents usually suffer. And there are limitations created for them. Knowledge is a deal breaker on this journey, and you must be able to understand it. Another thing that you must understand is that you must also learn to teach your children skills. That's one of the ways to parent the heart and not just the behavior. Yeah, you can succeed in making your child find purpose, but a child who finds purpose and lacks basic skills will not succeed in life. For example, a child who lacks discipline skills is going to naturally struggle even when they find purpose. People who are on the purpose train only thrive when they have these skills, discipline skills, for instance. There are many of them. And there's also something that we call the executive functioning skills. Time will not permit me to go into what the executive functioning skills is about, really. The executive functioning skills, organization, and all of that. For your child to find purpose, those skills are key. You need to begin to ask yourself, how do I teach them? What do I do? How do I begin to transform my journey? A child who lacks empathy as a skill is going to struggle on the line of purpose, because empathy is the core for finding purpose, and is a skill. It's not something that comes on your child directly. It is a skill, and it's a skill that parents need to actually pay attention to and build. I have observed that a lot of people who can run with purpose and vision are people who do not have empathy skills. Very important. The next one is you need to build your child. You need to learn how to discipline and make impact. You need to learn how to discipline and make impact. A lot of us discipline and not make impact. What we do is that, we just, once the child does something wrong, we just hit the child. And then the next thing we shout, spread the rod and spoil the child. That's it. I'm sure if I ask in the comment section now, what are other scriptures that you know about parenting? You will not quote this one I quoted. Proverbs 4:23 is a parenting scripture. Out of guard your heart with all diligence is a parenting scripture. But because we don't even know, all we do is just when a child does something and then you just hit them. And then when you come out, you say, when we tell you, you say, what are you saying? Are you saying we should not discipline our children? Is that what you're saying? No, you're not bigger than the Bible. The Bible said we should beat the children and let them hear. That's discipline. Unfortunately, you have even wrongly defined discipline. For you to discipline and make impact, you need to first of all understand what discipline is about. The question is, if I ask, what does discipline mean to you? I'm going to see different definitions in the comment section. But I help. Discipline is structure. Somebody help me write in the comment section. Discipline is structure. Structure of what to do. What discipline is really is your child knowing what to do and being able to do it. You, the parent, putting in structure. There are two most important things that you must put in your parenting journey: nurture and structure. The moment you put that in, then things will actually align. Nurture and structure. Unfortunately, we do not understand that structure we're talking about is discipline. For every time when we talk about discipline, everybody comes out and says, oh, it's when you yell, it's when you hit a child. That has nothing to do with discipline. Nothing. Because that makes no impact. If your discipline cannot impact your child, that is already a failed system. Because discipline is about the structure that you put in place. It is discipline that have made me sit here at 7 p.m. without an excuse. That is what the real discipline is about. I have a set of twins. Unfortunately, when I was being introduced, they said, I have a set of 2 boys. No, I have a set of twins, a boy and a girl. All right. And anytime I get home in the past, almost 1 year plus now, there is food on the table. I don't have to enter the kitchen if I don't want to. For the past 1 year plus, since they turned 10, they're 11 now, they make their food every morning for them to be able to go to school. I don't need to wake up. They pack their food. They pack their father's food and they pack mine. I get to the office, I open whatever it is that I have, and then I'm like, oh, wow, this is what they made today. I don't need to be there. Remember what I said about the skills that transform and the habits, and the habits that last. That's what your interest should be. When you're parenting the heart of a child, your interest is on the skills that transform and the habits that last. That is what structure is. It's not until I have to come home and shout, scream, and all of that. People say, oh, so how did you do that? Structure. That's what discipline really is. That they're disciplined enough to understand that they need to, put food on the table. Put food on the table for their parents to have every day that they come home. Every single day. That is structure. That is the real discipline. The only way to parent the heart of the child, one of the ways to parent the heart of the child is to create this system. If your discipline doesn't make an impact, then that discipline is going to be hitting the behavior, not the heart. I'm going to share another example of one of the things that we do. Your children are fighting, right? And you can see them fighting. And then the first thing that you want to do is to shout on them to stop. Or they're fighting for a toy. I must have it. I have a set of twins. So, of course, I had a lot of that. I must have it. It has to be me. It has to be mine. No, I took it first. And then when you call them as a parent, the first thing you do is that you ask them, so who got it first? That is you trying to apply justice. Right? And then they tell you, yes, this person got it first. And you say, okay, take it from the person who got it before and give it to the person who got it first. You are parenting the behavior, not the act. I tell you why. Those 2 children, that behavior is coming from a sinful heart. I'm trying to break it down in a way that you would understand me. Why did I say so? It is because they do not understand love. They do not understand empathy. Remember, both of them, all their thinking is about self at that time. If you're interested in parenting the heart of the child, then you will be interested in teaching them how to actually understand, do the skills, work with the skills of empathy, putting other people in your shoes, love, and all of that. But very many times, what we know is that we want to play the role of a judge. That in itself is you parenting their behavior, not the heart. I'm going to give a life example. 2 days ago, my son was sleeping, having a siesta. And the sister went to wake him up, whatever for. And he was so upset. According to her, she just wanted to wake him up so they can come and make dinner or something of that nature. Then I was called on the phone. When they spoke to me, the first thing that I asked was, I didn't ask, so what did you weigh? Oh, who did this? Oh, who did not do that? And all of that. I understood immediately that it was coming from, so I had to sit back and I asked myself some questions before I went into that conversation. If you must parent right, then you must become a thinking parent. If you are very reactive on everything that happens, then you will find yourself, you know what I said, your intentions are good, but intentions are not enough. And there is no parent who does not have a good intention. But to your good intention, to your best of intentions, you need to add knowledge, you need to add skills, and you need to understand the place of God in parenting the heart of your child, not just the behavior. And when I spoke to him, I realized that, okay, so this is coming from the place of, oh, you must wake up. I'm not going to do this alone and all of that. And when I spoke to my daughter, and, we started to talk, and I said to her, don't you think that he could have been, tired or something? Or don't you think, by the time we finished that conversation, she went back to say, oh, I'm so sorry, Ayo. I think maybe you should just catch some more sleep. And, he was actually upset. At that time, I could have said, what's wrong with you? Why are you upset? You need to wake up and help your sister cook. It doesn't matter how you feel, blah, 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 and all of that. But I understood that coming from the sister already was a heart that wasn't even right. You need to ask yourself at every point in time when your children do something, is this with a good heart? And then, by the time I finished, I called back in I left it, I called back in a few minutes, and he was sounding very great and excited and all of that. And he was like, oh, Ife even allowed me to do this and all of that. Oh, she was just so empathic and all of that. And, I was smiling. If you parent the heart of your child, then the child will actually be able to hear you. If you keep parenting the behavior, then your child will not hear you. Your child will become like the Pharisees that Jesus actually referred to in the Bible. Now, when you now get there, those Pharisees, what the Lord said about them was that their hearts was not following. Have you ever done something to your children and they're looking at you? They are following, but you know that the heart is not changed. Remember, I said that you can change a child, but if you haven't changed their heart, you would have succeeded in doing nothing. Your child can only hear you when you parent their heart. Another thing that you must do is that you need to teach them honor as a currency. I'm going to share this, right? You need to teach them honor as a currency. Somebody help me put in the comment section. You need to teach them honor as a currency. Honor is a currency, not just something you do. Making a heart connection with your child is a special part of parenting. Is a special part of parenting. And if you must make a heart connection, then one of the things that actually works like magic is honor as a currency. The Bible talks about children obey your parents and all of that. But in more scriptures, it talks about honor. Honor. So when you have the heart of your child, it's in that part that you begin to actually see. Now, when you teach your children honor, that's when they actually understand that, oh, okay, I actually need to. So it's not the same thing to say, oh, you must obey me by force. Honor as a currency is different from you need to obey me by force. They're not the same. So you see this by force, obedience. It's actually one of the things that makes me laugh anytime that I think about it. Let me explain honor in real terms. Honor is customer service brought home. Somebody help me write that. Honor is customer service brought home. That's what it is. You need to see where our children set the table to actually give us food in the evening. They were taught. We didn't assume it. Customer service brought home. If you can understand this simple term that I have used, then you will be able to actually do this. All right? You need to build on kindness. You need to build on it because it's going to help you. Okay? In the Bible, in Matthew 5, Jesus made several statements about value of doing more than was expected. And in 38 and 39, he says, you have heard that, it was said an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, and all of that. But I tell you, do not resist, an evil person. Someone strikes you on the right cheek, turn to the left to do and all of that. You hear all of that. Children need to learn honor. Jesus talked about benefit of giving extra to others. I'm talking about giving extra. God loves honor and even reward those who give honor to others. Honor not only benefits others, but it changes the giver's life and makes people around you enjoy you more. Children need to learn honor as a life skill. Once you see this developing in yourself, you will want to teach it to your children. You need to learn it. God has hidden within honor the secrets and ingredients for success. So now that the children are young, this is the time. I said it before, that the Bible mentions that children should obey their parents just 2 times, but 8 times in the Bible talks about honor. And in many parts, in 8 commandments, the Bible talks about honor in the Bible. 1 Samuel, it talks about honor your God. 1 Timothy talks about pastors. 1 Timothy, Hebrews, it talks about marriage. 1 Corinthians talks about honoring your body. Romans, it talks about government leadership. 1 Peter, it talks about wives. Then for parents, it talks about it 8 times. So you need to understand that honor is not something that you just take for granted. You need to teach your children you need to teach it by doing it. You need to teach it by doing it. How are you treated in the house? How do you treat your children in the house? Now, this honor is also a 2-way currency. Remember that I said that parenting is about you first. That's one of my most favorite quotes in my book, Connect to Correct. Parenting is first about you before it is about the next person. So you need to live it. By the time you live honor, it's easy for your children to honor you. So when people tell me, oh, the Bible says, oh, honor your child, your parents, honor your... You're getting it wrong. You haven't even taught your children how to honor. Honor is taught. Honor is a skill. Someone was asking me how I taught my children to actually be able to set food in a particular way by the time we came. I said, because they have seen it. They have seen us do it for others. They've seen us do it for people who are higher in authority, people who are lower, people who are, our parents. So it's something that they can connect with. So stop shouting, oh, let your children honor you. Oh, I want my children to... Start doing it. Honor is part of the skills that transform. Honor is part of the skills that transform. Number 5, you need to build your child's core spiritual training. You need to build your child's core spiritual training. I'm going to put a bit of, conversation around it. Yes, honor is customer service brought home. So you see the way that you treat, people out there. You answer that. Our children will treat us like they are out there. It's the same thing. The way I'm going to treat another child outside and be all nice is the way I'm all nice to my own child. Because it's a 2-way thing. I need to live it for them to understand exactly what it is that I'm talking about. Okay? Build your child's core spiritual training. This is just more than taking a child to church. Don't bother. You see all these, make sure you take your child to church. Oh, make sure that your child prays before dinner. They are good. But that's not what it is. That's not all it is. Making a heart connection with your child is a special part of this parenting journey. And this is the only place you can impact your child spiritually. If you don't connect with the heart of the child, you can never impact your child spiritually. Never. I use the word never because it's impossible. And all of the times, that's why we couldn't follow the gods of our fathers. That's why your children can't follow your God. They don't know who your God is because you haven't been able to reach their heart. When you connect with your child on an emotional level, they are willing to listen to spiritual truths that you're dishing out, and they will become less resistant to your leadership. If you find your child resisting your leadership, there's something wrong with what you're doing. You are not parenting the heart, you are parenting the behavior. And you need to work on that. It's simple. There's no, if you want, say, no, that's not true. They are children and they are just stubborn naturally. I know we say all those kind of things, but that is not true. Any child, you can reach their heart, you can change them. Anybody. And there's no child that you reach their heart that you will not be able to transform spiritually. None. None. Not one. So when you get to that point, your children will be willing to listen to you. They will be less resistant to your leadership. Are your children resisting your leadership? Go back and go and check yourself. Whenever my parents come to me in a consultation, the first thing I ask them is, what are you doing? Because whenever they come, they want me to bring out a magic wand, tell them exactly what it is that they want to hear. Oh, your child is stubborn. This is what you need to do when you go home. Do like this. But that's not true. The first thing I tell you is that I do not have a magic wand. You and only you can transform you. And when you do, the transformation will just happen in your children. It's also through relationship you pass values. That's how you pass values. That's how you convince your child. I was telling someone, the person was, I think it was in our inner circle level too, when they were asking me, so how did you teach your foster daughter? We have a foster daughter, by the way, that is married, got married last year in December. And, they said, how did you teach your foster daughter about purity? Was there a plan? Was there something? Did you take her to take a pledge? I said, no. All we did was to reach the heart of whatever it is that she's doing. All we did was to connect her to relationship and pass our values, pass our convictions, and it was so clear. We didn't need to come to the house and come and do one lecture. Oh, if you don't do this, if you go and sleep with a man, you're going to die. It's a lie. It's not true. Your children already know that when they sleep with a man, they're not going to die. There are better ways to actually pass it. How? You need to connect with them and reach their heart. And when you do, they buy your values, they buy your convictions, they buy it totally. You sell it, they buy it. One of the things we don't even understand about parenting is that we need to sell the market to our children. We need to sell the market. Parenting is about marketing. That's what it is. If you do not have marketing skills, you're in trouble. It's about marketing. Your values will be marketed. Your convictions need to be marketed. I know when I had a conversation with her, and we talked about staying purity and all of that. And when the husband came back to us and said, oh, thank you, and all of that, we're laughing. And she said, my parents will not come to you to say, this is what you need to do. But they build such a solid value system that you will buy into it at some point. I was writing a story about my motherhood journey, book I'm currently writing, and I was talking about how my husband was able to convince me to be able to believe in his God, in quotes, to be able to have the kind of faith that he carried at the time. How? He sold it to me. I didn't have a choice. He sold his God to me. Are you selling your God to your children? Who is your God? Unfortunately, we are not. We're busy looking for children that will behave well, in quotes. But we're not reaching their hearts. So having an open and close relationship with your child is more strategic even before any other thing. It's about the strategy before any other thing. So for your child to face this current world that is very hostile, this world is hostile to your child, Christians. If you're a religious person, if you're a spiritual person, the world is already hostile to your child. You need to raise them with strong spiritual core. That is part of how you can actually reach their heart. When you have the heart of your child, they trust you, they look up to you, they follow your leadership intuitively. It's only reaching the heart of the child that can give you all of this. And in reaching the heart of your child, you need to actually ask yourself, in all of this, where do I find myself? Can I deliver what I'm asking of my child? Unfortunately, many times we ask from our children what we can't deliver to them. And this is a big deal. You're asking for honor as a currency. But are you really delivering honor as a currency around you? I traveled to the US for an event, where people just say, oh, it's in Africa. We like all this respecting, all this honor thing. What is itself? And I shared that story. I remember that the head of ARP, Fiji Sumer, was coming in. The kind of system of honor that I saw. That was where I learned that honor was a currency and is a skill that must be taught. And is a global currency. It's not a local currency. If your child must succeed in the purpose of their lives, then they must build honor as a currency. Do you have it? Do you have it as a skill? For you to be able to pass on your values, your convictions, and all of that, do you have it as a skill? You can't give what you don't have. But yet, we are constantly asking our children what it is that we can't deliver. Until we change this narrative about the things and the way we actually parent and reparent ourselves first, parenting doesn't change. What we need is to start by reparenting ourselves. How much have you done on your journey? Whenever I ask parents this, they look at me. I say, how many books on parenting have you read? How many courses have you attended? How many things have you ever done? How many free conferences? How many people log in? Just imagine that it's Bobrisky. Our values are terrible. Imagine that it's Bobrisky that is live as I'm speaking now. This conference is held by Bobrisky. You will see millions of people logged in listening. But we even have a problem sharing this link with our friends. Because in our mind, just parenting, neither here nor there. But if Bobrisky was going to come live and interviewed by someone, everybody will be out there. Yet, we want our children, the same children that we're parenting, to have spirituality at their core. We want our children to have a strong value system. We claim that we have values. Yet something happens, and then we tweak that same value, and your child is watching. You say, oh, honesty is part of our value. Your friend is calling you. You are in the room, and you say, no, Mama, I'm coming now. I'm already on my way. In fact, see me. I'm almost there. Your child is watching. I don't think we understand how much that we as parents have vested on this journey. If we get it, we will not just sit down every day and just think, it's just it, let's just keep rolling. Today, I call on you to take steps. You can come to this session, scream all the wows, oh yeah, oh deep, oh, and all of that. Trust me, it's not going to change nothing if you do not take action. Everybody has his book on purpose, and you're still, oh, how do I do it? Oh, I just want my child, time is going every day, every second the time ticks. Take action. Make sure that you do something. Make sure that you take your journey seriously today. There's something that I like to tell the parents in the inner circle. I'm going to tell you just a bit. The inner circle is our cocoon. MB Chinyere Obinna is here. They will we don't just share anything to you. All right, but I'm going to say this to you. I want you to say to yourself, I have time and I can parent my children. I want you to put it in the comment section. I have time and I can parent my children. You see, the concept of I don't have time to do this is a killer concept. Don't fall into that gimmicks. The devil is using it to destroy your children. So say to yourself, I have time and I can parent my children. Truth is, you parent your children, you have time for what is most important to you. You have time for what is most important to you. Thank you so much again for having me. This is a community that I like a lot. Thank you for that time. I appreciate you very much.
Wow, wow, wow. Anyway, can I ever say stop saying wow when after listening to you? Thank you so much, Coach. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, Wendy. I mean, you have just given us back to back, back to back. I was writing and my book is all my book is all full. Where can we even start from? You've said a lot this evening. You've said really, I mean, you've said a lot. Discipline and making impact are two different. I mean, discipline and making impact are two things that are core in this in your journey, right? I mean, you said a lot. You said a lot. You said structure. You cannot parent without structure. So, two things you must do is you must have structure and you must nurture your children. Because a lot of times, I mean, we just have intentions and we forget that our intentions are not enough. You can intend from here to Jericho. If you do not put in the work, it's not going to happen. I had a good laugh when you talked about Bobrisky and you know if this was a conference or this was a gathering where I mean this is so true. And this is where our values have gone. That's the truth. Because we don't just log in and you know spend time with these people. We do it in the presence of our children. Right? We do it in the presence of our children. They see how committed we are to all kinds of things that are like, I mean, this is not judging anybody. But what we're saying here is you can't have time for these things that do not add value when it comes to your children. And then the same you will not come and say you don't have time. I mean, you don't have time to parent and all of that. So it doesn't add up. And with time, our children will see the hypocrisy in us. And of course, they will pick these values. So you're watching Bobrisky, he will look for someone that is a sister to Bobrisky and he will be a sister. After all, this is where they will find you. That's where you will connect.
So you know that Bobrisky's biggest fans are parents. Funny enough.
Yes.
Not just young people.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And you know, the children have to connect with these people so that you have a conversation between you going. So if we cannot talk about meaningful things, let's talk about Bobrisky together. You understand? So it's crazy, and you blew my mind, as in you totally blew my mind when you started talking about, you know, parenting the heart of the child. As far when you talked about the kids, you know, you talked about the kids and your daughter waking her brother from a place of, I mean, that you could stop and think of it. I mean, it's a lot that you could stop and think of it from that point. It's very easy to just say, that wasn't kind. Why would you wake him? Or for you to just say he has all the right to be angry. Why did you go and wake him? But no, you didn't. I mean, you didn't meet it at that peripheral place. You went to the core, and that's what we need to start doing as parents, going to the core. And I said this in my new book, right? Mentor Parents, right? How to support your child's purpose. The moment we get to the point where we can go beyond, just as you're saying, the behavior, and we can go to the core of where that behavior is coming from, then we know we're really being intentional. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. I can see the comments. People are just raving all around here with their comments. I don't know if you can see it there. But basically, people were saying, and then the customer service part, as in, I put my hand on my head, like, oh my goodness, who says this kind of thing? Because I can understand. I have been a customer service person, and I understand how your customer comes first. how you put your customer ahead of everything. So the customer is abusing your, the customer is there not being nice, and you're saying, we're sorry, sir. We're going to do something about it. Please, we're sorry, sir, and all of that. You know how you call MTN and they start by, after you're finished telling them your problem, the first thing they do, even when the problem doesn't make sense, they apologize to you. But you understand? And then we come home and we do not think we should carry. Oh God, that got me, as in that got me like from a place that I have not even looked at before. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am. All right, let me look around here and see if there are questions. I've told them to put down their questions. Okay, someone said, how can I put it on screen? So someone said, how can I have a structure for a 2-year-old?
All right, so when it comes to structure, a lot of people say, oh, it's difficult to do structure with a toddler and all of that. I started structured parenting from day one that I had the twins. I knew that that's the only way I could have survived. So when people tell me things like, oh, my child picked up my phone and they were pressing it, I don't get it. It's alien to me. Now, this is not coming from the place of, oh, perfect parent or it's just alien to me, because I don't understand why my child is taking my phone. I still haven't been able to get it. My toddler picked my phone. I'm thinking of it. It doesn't fit. As in, it's not making sense to me. Why? There are structures. From day one, when people ask me, so how do you get your children to go to bed at a particular time? Put in structures. What are the things that are working in your home? What are the things? These structures will be peculiar to you. It will be peculiar to you. Right now, the twins are 11. I don't need to struggle for them to go to bed. Because as soon as it's 8:30, my son is already dozing, no matter what it is that is happening. So as I'm finishing this class now and I'm getting into the main house, in 30 minutes time, my son is like, oh, I'm tired. And then it's become part of the habit. Remember what I told you about habits that last and skills that transform. That should be your focus. Anything you're doing in your parenting, think about habits that last and skills that transform. Stop screaming everywhere. It's not going to help you. Start that structure. If your child needs to sleep at 8, read to them. If that becomes like something that they keep listening to every evening, it turns out to become part of the system. Create a structure. We have, some guys that can help you create those structures for your toddlers, that you can reach out to get in the academy. But however, the truth is, many of the times we're just lazy. We're just lazy to implement things. That's just the truth. It can be tough, I agree, but you need to actually sit up, and then do something more to it. So structure for a 2-year-old, it's and when you set up these structures, please live up to it. Don't today you agree that, oh, we're going to buy sweets. Oh, tomorrow they will say, oh, it's also sweet, you will buy. You will say, I just want to buy. Let me just buy. Let them not cry. In fact, I'm working today. I have a live class. Let me just buy for them. Once I buy for them today, it will continue. You see why I said to you that discipline is structure. If you do not put this structure in place, you will keep screaming. You will keep shouting. My children don't watch TV during the week. I don't need to be there. You won't come to my house and you see the TV on during the week, whether we're there or you're not there. That is your greatest achievement as a parent. When your children can actually do the things you teach them without you being there. It's not when you're there. So if you have to be carrying cane every time, and in fact, if you have to be flogging your child, it's already a failed system. You need to do something about it. You need to do something about whatever it is you're delivering. It's not working. Tell yourself it's not working and stand up to do something. Don't tell yourself, oh, that's what they did to us. After all, they will not die. They are dying because they're not building skills that transform. Neither are they building habits that last. So you're going to have, sometimes I see 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds, they're so badly behaved, and I'm wondering, who are the parents of these people? Just because we fail to put in structures. A parent reached out to me. I was supposed to have a session with me. incidentally is a parent that I know, and I know that she beat her son mercilessly. I'm not joking, as in flogged the boy like the boy has committed a crime. And he yells at him. When she came to me, she said, I'm losing my son. And it's not like I've not disciplined him. It's because I don't know what's happening. Maybe the devil is just fighting me. I told her, I said, it's because, first of all, you do not even know what the word discipline means. You think by flogging and shouting every time that is discipline. If you do not have a structure, then you don't have discipline in your home. So I hope this helps. Yes, ma'am.
I'm sure it did. I'm sure it did help a lot. I'm looking for other comments. I can't see.
Okay, how do you help your child find purpose? How can I have children for it? How do you help? If you're looking for how to help your child find purpose, when you're inside there, you can't be asking me that kind of question. No. You are in the purpose. You are in the purpose place. All right? You are in the purpose place. Please ask Mary Beth. If there's anything about purpose, trust me, you are in the right hand. Don't come to me. If you come to me, I'll send you back to Mary Beth. Actually, that's actually
Atsu, thank you.
Anytime you come and ask me anything about, yes, please ask Mary Beth, and you're in the right place.
I'll write that book.
I've been privy to see. Yes, some things about some of those, some of the things that Mary Beth is sharing in that book. Trust me, every parent needs a copy. Don't leave this conference without pre-ordering your copy and waiting to get a copy. Trust me, you need it. You need everything that you can get on this journey to help. Everything. Don't take it for granted.
No,
all right. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, ma'am. So Wendy has some guides. She mentioned that. Okay, I was saying in Tega session that I love guides, because what the guides, in fact, I already ordered for the word on puberty. Because what the guides do to you is, while you are waiting to finish reading the book and get all the juice from the book, the guide puts you at work immediately. So you can just, with 20, 30 minutes, you're done going through the guide and you're working already while you're squeezing out the juice from the book. As in, the puberty, the book, Walking Your Child Through Puberty. I've not finished reading Walking Your Child Through Puberty, but I have read through the guides, and already I am working with what's on the guide, So when you are at ease, the guide gives you that instant place to start from. That's what it does. So it's very, if you want any of her guides, if you want the guide she's talking about, the one on structure, just put it in the comments and I will send you the link on how to connect and get it from the Intentional Parents Academy. So thank you so much again, ma'am. We do not take it for granted that every time we call, you show up. We do not take it for granted that even at the shortest notice, you show up. Thank you so much. This has been an eye-opening session. I can say that for every person here. I know I can. Because even for me, I have picked a couple of things that I will just add to my toolbox immediately. So parents, as she said, don't just come to these conferences and say, wow, I mean, fire and everything. Take it and put it in that box immediately. Run with it. Thank you so much, ma. Let's allow you go. Thank you for making this time. We do not take it for granted. All right.
Thank you.
All right, then. Bye.
Bye.
All right. So thank you, everyone, for being here. I see you all. I see you, Miriam. I see you. Okay. It's good to have you. So UK is here. He's one of our speakers. This young man. I mean, let me just leave you till he comes on Saturday. Okay, so hi, okay, I see you. I see you, Miriam. I see you, Akugo. I see Akugo is another one of our speakers. See, we have plans for you. Just hang in here. There's so much to take from this conference. There's so much that is happening here, and there's so much to take. I want to equip your toolbox. That's what I want to do. So that at the end of this conference, you can stand up and move like a confident parent. You know how you hail your children, you affirm them, you support them, you trust them, and then you support them, and then your child begins to soar with that level of confidence. That's what this conferences like this do to you. When you get information, you get knowledge, you rub minds, okay, and you get equipped, it makes you become confident as a parent. And when you are confident as a parent, it will reflect in your children, and your children will know that you know what you're doing. There's nothing as bad as when your children can tell that you're confused. All right, parents. So the Mentor Parents Purpose book is out for pre-order. We're going to put it up very soon, today or first thing tomorrow morning. And I said, Kamsi has written about his journey too, his first decade journey, being supported. So you have the parent version and you have the child. I mean, how that support reflected in the child and how the child perceives it, and the child is giving it and sharing it out with other children. Amazing, amazing. Dual book. It's 2 books in one. You want to pre-order this book. So thank you very much for being here. We will resume tomorrow. We'll resume tomorrow at, I think, 4 p.m. I'm not sure. I think it's at 4 p.m. or so. So tomorrow is the day for the educators. So we're bringing educators to you. 3 or 4. The flyer will be out, at the end of the day or tomorrow morning. Right, so we're bringing educators to you. We're taking you to the core. So we're finished with the home and all that you can do at home to support your child and what you need to look at. We've looked at sex, we've looked at connection, we have looked at drugs. These are 3 things that if we take for granted, we can end up messing up with the minds of our children, and we will disconnect with our children, and these things being out may be the reason why our children may not be able to stay focused on their purpose. Very, very key that we have the home breeding right for our children, or being a breeding ground for our children to thrive in order for them to pursue their purpose. So tomorrow we're going to talk about education and how the parents and the educators can form a triangular kind of relationship, since we are all interested in the lives of these children. So thank you for everyone who made time to be here. If you want to catch the replay, please tag your friends, talk to your friends about this, tag them and all of that. If they want to catch the replay, we will put out the YouTube channel where you can catch the replay on YouTube. These are resources that we don't want to leave on the table. Okay, let them come and listen to this and then take the lessons from it. So thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow when we have our second day, first session. Thank you. Have a lovely, lovely, lovely evening. Bye.
Meet your speakers, Wendy Ologe, a seasoned parent coach, an author, and the founder, Intentional Parent Academy, the founder, Intentional Parent Group. She is an international speaker, the African representative at the 2019 Facebook Global Parenting Panel, USA. She is an executive director at the Smart Office. She has over 10 years working experience at the USAID leading project and the banking sector. Wendy is married and likes to refer to her husband as Governor, also known as God. She is a mother of 2 twin boys and a foster daughter. Chinyere Obinna, educator, parent coach focused on sex education for the whole family, author, international speaker, wife and mother of 2. Tega Omogo, an author, a transformational speaker, life coach and substance abuse counselor, an interventionist, a mental health practitioner and teen mentor, a certified therapist with US-based Timfa Group, a SUBCA certified mental health first aider, an emotional intelligence and anger management coach, a graduate of the Guidance and Counseling Department of the Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, graduate of the Transformers Leadership Academy, a project coordinator, Back to Light Foundation. She is an international speaker and a business owner. Tega is married and she is based in Abuja. And your host, Marybeth Chima, educator, author, founder of the PTM Academy, convener of the Baby Steps to Purpose Conference 2021.